Mr. Rubicon wants to know if the defensive line play as of late has gotten Miami to a place where it's still, or gotten back to being a defensive line factory.
It could be. It could be. You have a question mark of 53 at defensive end. You have the transfer from Tennessee, Mr. Johnson, DeAndre Johnson. I'm excited to see what he's going to bring to the table because he had 6.5 sacks in the SEC. I could only imagine what he could bring. If he could even just give us 6.5 again at the end, I would really like that because I think he'll be a situational pass rusher. I don't think he will be a starter because we have a seniority problem at Miami, and they're going to start 53. So, Mr. Johnson, I hope you're prepared for that. No matter how hard you work, they're going to start 53. So keep working hard because your number will be called eventually. But 53 will go out there on first and second downs. Nasty Silvera, you've seen what he's done. Even you spoke about it. I remember catching one of the lives before, and I think defensive line came up, and you were like, this guy from Miami, he's showed something because me, Cam, and anybody who's been on this year have talked about him for years. But 2020 came, and he actually started to make those plays, and I was really happy to hear you say that because you have a 50-foot, 1,000 view of all these different institutions. So for a defensive tackle at Miami to kind of pop to you, that was really good for you to be able to notice that. Now, John Ford and Jordan Miller, somebody will eventually show up out of those two. They're the two big guys of the group. They're the space eaters, but they haven't shown us much. Now they're getting older in the program. You're talking about a guy who's going to be in year 5 and a young man who's going into year 3. We have to see something. Or year 4, 18, 19, 20, 21. Year 4 for Miller. Year 5 for Ford. We got to see something. We have to at this point. Leonard Taylor, 5-star D tackle. That guy doesn't sign to Miami most of the time. He goes to Florida, and he goes on to be a top 20 pick 3 years from now. Okay, but he picked Miami. So he's going to be able to come in and vow for snaps. And it better be happy he wasn't an early enrollee. Because I think he would be in that conversation with Xavier Restrepo, in that conversation with Cam Kitchens, the safety from Miami Northwestern, in the conversation with Avante Williams, because I think he would stand out of something that Miami hasn't seen at D tackle in I don't know how long. I'm not calling him Sapp. I'm not calling him McDougal. I'm not calling him Russell Maryland. I'm not calling them those guys. But the combination of size, length, moves, and speed, I don't know if we've seen that at Miami in a while. Because even Gerald Willis was like 6'2.5", 6'3". You're talking about a guy who's a legit 6'5", a legit 280, 285, who's a 3 technique that can get up the field, with 2 high school interceptions and both of them taken back to the crib for touchdowns. This is an athlete that happens to be a lineman because of his size. So, yeah, I think D-line could be, and that's just D tackle. You have Jabari Harvey, a young man that I'm going to keep bamming down the door. He was my favorite recruit in 2019. I love this film, and he's starting to show up. Mark, if I were to give you a crazy number of body fat percentage, what would you say is just this crazy number for a body fat percentage of a defensive end?
Crazy good number, of course.
Yeah, not crazy bad. Not 30 plus.
Crazy good number. Sometimes
For
I'll hear, I don't hear body fat percent. It's funny because as soon as you bring up body fat, I think of the time that I was tested, and this was like in my late 20s, and I was in much better shape then when I was around 8%. But, sometimes you'll hear a crazy figure like 6%. But for a defensive lineman, I'll go with 11%.
6'4", 250 pounds, 4% body.
4%.
4% body fat.
Okay.
Now, remember when I was able to go to a couple practices a couple years ago, I saw him. And the first thing I came back to say to you, number one, that Gilbert Frierson was amazing in run stop. Him and Romeo Finley were killing it as the two inside linebackers. But the second thing is that Jafari Harvey, as an early enrollee freshman, stood next to 53 who had been here for 3 seasons, and they looked identical. And this young man is going to be a problem. Uh, he's 17, going on to 18. This other dude is 22. They should not look this. And now you know why. Man, this dude's arms. Mark, I'm telling you, number 12 for the Miami Hurricanes. Watch out.
Wow.
Watch out, watch out, watch
That's
out.
impressive. That is mighty impressive.